Hey there, I'm Beletsky. If you aren't familiar with my rating system, you should first watch the explanation linked in the video description. Anything stated in my videos is ultimately my own opinion. If you disagree with anything I say, write it in a comment below. I'll be compiling and responding to questions and feedback in a video later on. Thanks for watching, and let's get on with the upgrades. Flush with Cash, 2 cost upgrade. Bribery is extremely expensive, costing a 2 soulstone swing in value, but allows you to auto-fail an enemy attack. It's not a bad price to pay for survival in a world of fast dead rider reaps, double-focused snipers, and Colette swaps. Imagine if a critical model is about to be killed and takes 4 damage. You might wish you could spend 2 stones on reducing damage all at once. This is somewhat like that, except the cost is paid up front, you don't flip a duel, and all the attack effects are ignored. If you're confident you can win the long grind as long as the upgrade bearer survives aggression, giving your opponent 1 stone isn't even that important. Insurance is usually the reason to take this upgrade though. Paying 2 soulstones gives you 1 back whenever an enemy kills a friendly model within 6 inches, which is a respectable bubble, although not big enough to stay totally safe. The metagame leans more towards expensive models right now, and explorers do have a few keywords that lean towards elite crews, but this upgrade really improves the standing of cheap models, and explorers have several good ones to choose from. Oh, and don't get me started on how ridiculous insurance can get with Cadmus. The minion ability lets you discard up to 3 cards and then draw to fill your hand. Note that if you treated initiative, you replenish that card too. Draw 2, discard 2 is worth 1 stone, so discard 3, draw 3 can be valued at roughly 1.5 stones, maybe slightly less since you won't always want to discard 3 cards. As far as possible downsides, well, explorers have a lot of card cycling already. Bribery isn't often worth it on a minion like it is on a master. Most explorers' minions aren't super sturdy if they're positioned centrally, and if the minion dies before you use this ability, you lose it. So there is some risk involved, but even if we value excess funds at just slightly above 1 stone and assume that having bribery has no effect on the game at all, insurance only needs to generate 1 stone to make taking this upgrade on the minion worth it, as long as you're not already taking Flush with Cash on someone else, of course. Final verdict, 4 stars. It either pays you or saves you. I expect to see this one often. Hidden Agenda, 2 cost upgrade. Backup Plan disincentivizes enemy cheating by dealing a damage when the opponent does so. It's only once per activation, so this upgrade is best on someone who will be attacked a lot or who can attack outside their activation. Pretty simple, unlike Double Cross. Double Cross is very hard to objectively rate. How much do you value mind games? How much do you think this will affect the outcome of these duels? What are you trying to accomplish? I don't know if I can answer these for every player, but I can offer some ground rules. Firstly, if you're winning your initial duel, this ability does nothing. On a model who will be flipping multiple cards with a good stat on every attack, this won't likely be doing much. Secondly, you can only cheat as many times as you have cards, obviously. It's exciting to think your opponent will never know what to do and make mistakes in a haze of confusion, but in reality this might only come into play a couple of times per turn. And thirdly, when your opponent can't afford to lose a duel, or when you can't afford to lose a duel, but don't have a card high enough to stop it, this has the best chance of tricking someone to waste good cards at the cost of not winning the crucial duel. However, this also has the worst chance of saving your model in these same cases when your opponent will just cheat his best card anyway. And lastly, remember that although you can trick your opponent into wasting a high card, you give up a card in your hand too, so it doesn't give you card advantage in terms of hand size. Overall, this ability is intriguing, but my personal playstyle values deck thinning, plus flips, and pressuring my opponent to cheat first much more than trying to trick them. The minion ability gives the model fast when you reveal a scheme. This is a nice bonus, but remember fast is just 1 extra AP over the course of the game's 5 activations, which total 10 AP and 5 bonus actions. Assuming you always take 2 schemes that you can reveal on separate turns, how valuable is 2 AP over the course of the entire game? Regardless, try to take schemes that can be revealed on turns 2 or 3 and on separate turns to make the most of this ability, as free AP earlier in the game is more valuable than free AP later after the model's dead. Final verdict. For me personally, I would rate this upgrade 2 stars, although I could see it being better for players of other playstyles. I think the best model for this strategy is Crypsis Core. They can attack out of activation consistently with the right support, only have stat 5, often have min damage 3, which is dangerous enough to incite cheating, are fairly survivable thanks to stealth, and can control their accuracy with predatory instinct. But as always, 2 stones is expensive, so your mileage may vary. With this one especially, remember to pay attention to how much the game is changing due to the upgrade, not just the model that holds it. Treasure Map, 2 stone upgrade. Deadly Pursuit can be a good ability for objectives like Take Prisoner and Corrupted Ley Lines, where getting pushed away before the end of the turn can be game-losing. Explorers already have botanists and lots of stagger effects though, so I would say this isn't impressive enough on its own. Buried Treasure removing a marker as a bonus action is nice, but it comes with a 1-inch range in a faction with multiple ways of moving and removing markers at range, and more than one Don't Mind Me model, which is good out of keyword. Still, there are cases where using both AP to move and removing an enemy scheme marker with your bonus action can be useful, especially with Secret Passage on Hucksters or Ava. To top off the trio of abilities, minions draw a card when an enemy scheme marker within 6 is removed. And yet again, the Explorers as a faction have you covered with no shortage of card draw and cycling effects, and the ability is once per activation, so it doesn't even work when the opponent reveals a scheme. So the final verdict is 2 stars. Treasure Map is primarily for marker removal, and it does that job well at a cost of a bonus action. But when there are good alternatives, the 2 cost is a big price to pay, raising 6 cost models by 33% or 8 cost models by 25%. Not bad, but a rare choice. And with that, we have the 3 General Explorers upgrades done. I was originally planning to release the first keyword review today, but the audio turned out awful, so this short review is standing in while I re-record it. Stay tuned for the next full review later this week. Leave a comment below guessing which keyword it'll be. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hint, it's not Syndicate. That one isn't even finished releasing.